what is it? 10.2.78 and
or 9.3
or 9.3. That's right. So it's yeah, it's causing a lot of buzz in the Ubiquiti atmosphere. And so we're going to jump into that. But before we do, I just wanted to say we've got a lot going on at wifi-U. And we've got some classes coming up, some in-person classes. So if you're looking for a Ubiquiti certification course, let me just show you what we have coming up. And you can see that here's some of the classes. So this upcoming week, we've got classes in Milwaukee. This class didn't go, but we are going to redo the class for Hawaii. We've got classes in Vancouver, Washington, and Pittsburgh next week, and then Jacksonville, Florida. And then if you go to the website, you'll see a list of all the different places where we're teaching the certification courses for Ubiquiti. And then we also have our own courses that we're introducing. Let's see if I can, let's look at this. Yeah, so we now have some courses that you can do from your own home or your own office. You don't have to travel. And we have 3 classes next week. So a network routing and switching essentials class, a video security essentials class, and an intro to UNIFI networks class. So, and let's see, we've got some other classes coming up. If you go to learn.wifi-u.com, you'll be able to see those courses, and you can sign up. And then we want you to, for the different classes, you'll need different equipment, so you can look and see what the requirements are for those classes. But we're excited about being able to teach all 3 of those. Are on go for next week. So, excuse me. So we're looking forward to seeing more students in these classes that are virtual instructor-led classes. We also have classes that are self-directed classes. So at learn.wifi-u.com, you can find out all about that. Okay, so that's it. Now on to 10.2.78 or 93, as Cam said. So just a little intro to Cam. So Cam's a relatively new instructor for us, but he's been doing UNIFI and installs, and he's been to all of our classes for the last couple of years, and so he's learned under the great Kevin Hauser. And so he's well prepared as an instructor, and he also has really going business in Atlanta, and so so he's teaching all of us new things about door access and camera systems. And so, Cam, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, as always, thank you for having me and letting me do what I love for a living.
Yeah, I know, it's fun, isn't it? And yeah. Ubiquiti just seems to make it more and more fun. We're gonna do a sales class pretty soon. Ryan's putting together a sales class, and I know he wants to do a comparison of the other network options. So so anyhow, that's on it. That's coming up. But we'll try to focus on what we have today. So 10.2.78 brought us a lot of cool stuff, and Ubiquiti uses all these weird terms, or weird to me, but they're kind of exciting, like bewitching terms. And so so maybe you can help us understand what these different digital things are. So you want to get us started? What did this new update 10.2.78 bring us?
Well, I've got a real world example that we're going to put up here, because it's just a collection of really actual useful tools that pretty much everyone, especially if you're in the business of serving customers, it's just going to save you so much time. And now they're introducing some self-healing and proactive features. One of those terms that you're talking about is the digital twin. And I first got my introduction to that.
Twin.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Well, it really did get me excited when I when I read it, I was like, okay, this is jargon. And I got in there and started to look, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, this might be, like the term is used in robotics. General Dynamics made robotic dogs that work cooperatively
I've
together.
seen them,
They
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, kind of one of the bases of a digital twin. And although we don't see that today, I do kind of see the framework for them getting there to be able to have all of these different components of the network work together, self-heal, and make things better.
Okay. Well, it's probably a good time. Should we just dive in and take a look at what it looks like?
Yeah, let's do it.
See if we can bring that up and let's talk about it.
I cannot tell if it is sharing or not.
It's sharing.
Oh,
It's
great.
sharing.
Okay.
Yeah, but
There's one more thing I have to do, and
yeah.
Okay. Points. And got a real world example that we can take a look at here for demo on just how I'm going to immediately get value in this round of updates. So I've got a site that last night had some connection issues on the stack, and you can see right off the bat, this is a site that has an ENVR and a Dream Machine Pro. I'm going to go ahead and go into the network devices, and you can kind of see not looking too good there. Several connection interruption segments here, and right off the bat we can see that there's a discrepancy in the subnet range. So I'm doing a 192.168.4. That's the legitimate network that these devices should be on, but these ones that are experiencing the connection interruption are on a 192.168.23. And if we go look at the networks, that's not a network that I'm serving up here. So it's also one of Ubiquiti's fallbacks. So that is kind of a clue that there's probably a rogue DHCP server out there somewhere. So I'll going to deal with that, but first let's find out how bad this issue is. So normally I would go to the topology, and we've had this tool for a while, and it's kind of served us well. We've been able to get the idea that we needed of how things were connected, but now we've got the infrastructure tab with what Ubiquiti is calling the digital twin. So this area here, so much more relevant information right off the bat. So I can see usage and statistics, and I mean right here I've got 3 switches that are part of these connection interruption sections, and I can see exactly what ports they're connected to, and how they're connected upstream. So I kind of can already formulate a plan on how we're going to deal with this. Also can see that I've got this root, this STP root here, but look at the priority on the other ones. It's showing us that that's not doing anybody any favors. So we'll change that. But first, I want to highlight that when I do go into that switch, I've got a nice little device version reversion here. When you click on that, you can see the release notes for the current version that you're on. You can see the release notes for the version prior to that. And you can even drop a line to the R&D team. So that is a very, very nice feature. Let me go in here, and I'm going to take this off global switch settings for now and change my root values. Also, we're going to later on, that's the device supervisor that we're going to be taking a look at. This network could really, really benefit from device supervisor because this connection interruption issue that we're experiencing could have been self-healed, and it will be in the future when we get device supervisor properly configured. I've got that root priority on there. When we get these reconnected, we'll be able to change those. But let's go back, and I'm going to let's look at the port manager. Let's look at this switch that's online. I wonder what happened to it. We've got this new feature, Time Machine. So I'm able to turn that on along with the port diagram and roll back in time to see what might have happened. So we can see those real-time changes there. So that was a switch reboot, and it tells me exactly what was connected to what at that time. And I've got about 24 hours of history here. So that is very much going to help not only in this situation, but in the future. I'm going to go here and we're just going to create a new network that is going to broadcast that network that those devices have gotten isolated on. This could very well be an issue where there's a rogue DHCP server on the network, and when these switches went down for maintenance to do a reboot, they may have gotten isolated that way. So I'm just going to start serving this network out, and I'm going to recover these devices, and we'll check back in just a moment. Yeah.
All right. For those that didn't know, that was a previously taped video of how to use that digital twin.
That was literally my mornings.
So, all right. So, can you bring it back up and just? There were a couple of things. I mean, you might have to slide the video back a little bit, but I wanted to highlight the time machine. Can you go back to that?
Yeah, we're gonna go into more detail with that. But actually, if you'd like, I can pull up a different site that's live if you want to see that.
Okay, let's do that.
Let me get into the right place. If only one of these 100 windows that I have open were already logged in. That'd be great. Let's see. Okay. Right.
These readers are causing reflection.
Getting logged in right now, and I'll be sharing the screen shortly.
Okay. Now I noticed that the 10.2.78 isn't out as in general, right? It's not. It's still in early release.
Yes,
early access.
It is, and I think since they have released the firmware rollback and they kind of made it in line there, I think it might be worth some people trying it out. Maybe not in production necessarily, unless there are features there that you really want. And like this morning, there were features there that I really wanted, so we went ahead and did that. But I call that feature the pseudo undo boop boop feature.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
All right, so here we go. I am going to share the screen now as soon as I can figure out how to do that. Love Teams.
Oh, you just have to find the right window to share.
Yeah, it's gonna happen here. Yeah, I really don't know why it's that hard. Okay. Can you see it?
There we go. Yes.
All right. Wonderful. So this is so Site Manager actually got a little update today as well. I haven't gotten a chance to dig into that yet, but you went to see.
Yeah, it did. It did get an update. I saw that too. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries. Let's see on this site what we've got on the Time Machine. I don't think
Well, we're
This
not
is
seeing, we're not, we're seeing, no, that's not working.
Oh, it's not working.
Well, you're showing me the podcast notes.
Oh,
You're not showing me.
how embarrassing. Let's try this.
There. Now I
How's
see a
that?
site. All right, much better. Those
Great.
are all your notes. All right.
You see my notes? Oh no.
Yeah, like everybody now knows what you were doing. All right. What do you want to show us here?
We went to see the time machine.
Yeah.
So I was gonna roll this back a little bit. This one actually might be a little boring because it doesn't look like a whole lot has happened. But well, I guess it's not too terribly boring.
Yeah, you've got stuff that went on there.
Yeah.
Before you show that, up at the top where you have that plus and minus, what is
Yeah.
what is that doing? So you went to minus. I think it makes it more granular. Is that right?
Well,
And then if you go to the plus, it has a bigger date time.
Yeah,
Is that right?
exactly. So I was just trying to make it where I could scroll through it. So the minus is going to kind of condense the timeline, and then
Mhm.
when you get to something of interest, like this event right here, you
Mhm.
could, especially if there were a lot of corresponding events that happened at the same time.
Yeah.
Uh,
So it kind of zooms in on it. So you've got like an overall view, and you can scroll through. Then when you find something that has a bunch of events, you would go to plus, and it would make that like from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock be 10:02, 10:03, 10:04, like that.
exactly. Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm actually gonna go to another site too, so you can see that a little bit better
Okay.
while we're talking here.
All right.
Actually, let's actually get back to Adazio. Adazio has a lot of switches.
Mm-hmm. So we're seeing this live. This is what can happen when you try to do something live. That's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Well, we recorded it for sure. All right. So if we do go over to the port manager and pick one of these, let's take this 48 port switch and try to turn it on there. So if I do that same thing where I was taking, and actually I'll probably put this to the side. If I go, to the minus sign, it's going to just condense that timeline so it's easier to see what was going on.
there you go. Okay.
Slide it, and you can see that there's some periods today, like 5:18 a.m. it was offline, and 3:30 a.m. it was offline. So it looked like it was, doing some flapping after an update. And yeah.
Okay. So now this is available in the when we look at topology. Let's just go back to the icon on the left-hand side. When we're looking at topology, this is what we've always had. Yeah. And so
Yes.
before you touch that, don't touch it. Oh, okay. You want to show internet traffic. So before, this is what we've always had, and we could look at it sideways or top to bottom, and we can see our devices. We can see the switch, and we can actually see the some of the other knobs that we have on the left-hand side. So we could see client devices or not see client devices. You could see wired. You've got 48 wired and 2 on 2.4 and 30 or 29 on 5 gigahertz, right? So
just guess if you want to.
yeah, and so now, okay, so now we can do Wi-Fi broadcast and we can look at it by VLANs. But what you were showing us was in this new tab, which is called Infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that infrastructure is the one that gives us all that detail. And it must be harder for it to load. And
Yeah, it's not rendering in this browser, is it? Let me see if I can pull it up in a different one. Do you remember when Elon Musk was on stage demonstrating the Cybertruck? Love that.
Yeah, yeah, we do have that. So it won't load in that window.
I'm just trying it in a different browser because it didn't seem to want to load in that one.
All right, you gonna make your Cybertruck go?
Well, as soon as I get logged in, I don't want to share the credentials.
Okay.
You guys already saw my notes apparently, so.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Before I switch it over, I'm just making sure that it's going to load. So it's going into a DASO for me now, and yep, this browser's actually doing the same thing. So yeah, this is early access features.
Yeah, that's what happens with the early access features sometimes. Okay. Let's move on then to what else does it give us besides that infrastructure look?
Well, let's see what happens when I was able to get those devices recovered.
Yeah, let's go to that.
Guys, I'm so sorry. It was not sharing here. Oh, I guess it is.
Do you have it? I can share it.
Have a green light.
Okay. All right, we got a screen.
Wonderful.
Well, it has been a minute, and it looks like we have had some success. So right here on this recovery subnet that we made, I set this option 43. If you ever have UNIFI devices that forget who their controller is supposed to be, you can set option 43 and it will remind them. So that's situations where you're having devices, unified devices, getting disconnected from their controllers. And look at this. That looks very, very nice. So let's go back and look at our infrastructure. Oh, much, much better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and allow, there we go. They are starting to come back up. I'm going to go ahead and allow these updates to run, and I will pause and bring you back in just a moment. Okay, and it has been yet another moment, and all of that looks pretty good. Well, except for, it's on the default network, and that's not a best practice. So I'll be giving this network some love. But the main thing was to get it back operational and to show you the new tools that we have at our disposal that made that so much easier than it would have been without them.
Okay. Well, that's why we recorded it, so we can see it work. All right. So very good. So just overall explain how that helped you solve, how that infrastructure view helped you solve that problem.
Oh, I mean, so there were three main segments of that network down and about 35 devices that had become disconnected. And you know, if I had had to go through logs or, you know, to determine that, it probably would have taken 30 minutes or more. And even looking at the topology view that we've had in the past, it doesn't really give you any sense of it gives you what's presently happening, right? But you don't really have a sense of history. So, you know, you'd have to go to the logs for that. And just being able to have all that really relevant information right on the screen and be able to see, you know, when those things were last communicating and how exactly they were connected when they went offline, and being able to go and do the time machine and you know, just correlate all those things together very, very quickly. It kind of really makes all the difference in the world.
I like that you're comparing it to the logs. So it's always been a chore, like if something does happen, like what we saw on that in that video, to go back through the logs and find out what happened. Now we could still do that, but this makes it, with that time machine, it makes it a whole lot easier just to go, oh, here's where the problem was. We could do it in the logs, but then we'd have to, and they've given us an improved capability to scroll through the logs now, or to search in the logs. But yeah, I like that. And I like it. I don't know is time machine the right name for it, I guess, but
Well, I don't know about that, but kind of what I feel like they're doing is, you know, just like they did with Protect, and you know, we have the smart events, the AI enabled events where you can, you know, see the guy in the red hat that was you know, by going into the side door 2 days ago, right? And you can see like the person in the blue Volvo, and being able to just cut through all of the noise and get to the very important bits of data that you're looking for with no friction. You know, they first gave that to us in Protect and we loved it. And I feel like they're doing that now in the network app. And it's you know, it's just great. Because I mean, we are reading the logs. They're just presenting them in a much, you know, better way.
yeah, and I exactly. And I didn't really put it together until you said that. So so the time machine is a visual of our logs that we can see, but we can see on a calendar or a clock. So that it is helpful. Now I know what a time machine is.
Yeah.
So you had another clip that you want to.
This was about the device supervisor. So that's
Oh yeah, you
another
mentioned the device supervisor. Is it available yet or no?
It is, well, it's on these early access builds.
Okay, all right. Tell us about that.
So earlier in that video, I mentioned how, you know, I may not even have had to deal with this problem in the first place if the device supervisor was properly configured before it happened. You know, even in like the device supervisor is kind of especially for situations where something stops responding, or you know, it's all about self-healing. So
Yeah.
those segments of the network that were not responding, had supervisor been on, it would have been keeping a heartbeat with them. And when that heartbeat stopped, it would have given a certain amount of time of silence. And if it didn't have, you know, if there were no heartbeat and that period of silence elapsed, then this device supervisor would start taking actions on the network to try and get those non-responsive segments back online. So that could be something as easy as just an access point that has gone offline and needs to, you know, just have the port cycled. But it can be a whole, you know, ENVR that has stopped responding for some reason, and you know, the actual, you know, power, the AC power needs to be cycled on it. It could be, you know, one of the WAN interfaces, modems that is just not responding for whatever reason, and supervisor can take care of that as well.
Without any intervention. So it's going to listen to heartbeats, and then when those heartbeats are missed for a certain number of what is it? A certain number of heartbeats and an amount of time. Is that how it works? I saw there were two.
Right, you have two levers there. So one lever is you get to define the interval at which it's doing that heartbeat. So it could be maybe a minute on an access point. Certainly like a VoIP phone or something, you probably would want like a minute. But some things you might have a wider tolerance for. But generally, like 1 minute heartbeats, and then if that heartbeat is missed for an entire 15-minute period, then you could cycle the power.
But it will do that.
It will do that.
It will do. Are there different hooks, or is it just going to recycle the power?
Well, there are different hooks because there are a lot of different products. So there's the UPS, just like the standard UPS that kind of goes under your desk. There's the 2U that goes in the rack. There's the mission critical switch that has the battery, on the blade. And that one actually has two AC ports right in it. So in a place where you have access control and cameras and like a dream machine, that's kind of the perfect setup for supervisor, because with that mission critical, it can monitor both the NVR and the dream machine and take actions when it needs to.
Did you have a video of that?
Yeah, I do. Let's do that.
All right, let's take a look at it.
Sharing is paused. Let's see what that means.
All right.
I'm going to go right back over to our port manager because
Here we
I
go.
want to see, now that these other switches are back online, I'm going to decrease this time machine down, and we can hover over and see what's been going on in the last 24 hours. What did cause this? Look at that. A network update right about 9:45. And that went on, and then it went offline. Man, that is what it was. So what a nice thing to be able to have these. Let me look on the other switches and just see if that correlates. And, well, yeah, I'm going to go right back over to our...
Not sure why it started over, sorry. Here we go.
Let's take a look at that, actually. Let's go on over to high availability. And now we've got device supervisors. And click here to get started. And I've got all of these access points right here that are plugged into those switch ports. And they are able to just be supervised now with the device supervisor. So what that automatically put out here for me is, hey, for each one of these access points, we will do a heartbeat every 1 minute. And if there are 15 minutes that go by and there is no answer to that heartbeat, we will cycle this port and try and bring this AP back online. And if that is not successful, we'll get it. I'll get an alert about it. I can set that up in Alert Manager. So these are obviously PoE devices that are plugged in there. I'm going to run over here to another site that's a little bit more exciting on the device manager front. So let's go high availability, device supervisors, and let's see what we get here. Oh, well, I guess I need to run some updates over here. But what I was expecting to be able to show you, and I will be able to do it as soon as I get the right things going. We've got a UPS 2U in here, and we've got a PDU Pro in here. You can see there are several things that are labeled on it there.
While this is up on the screen here, let's just kind of talk about it, because
Okay.
this is the 2U that's in the rack, and it's actually very similar to the one that just kind of goes under your desk. There was a while there when that thing first came out that it seemed like you were going to be required to run a control server in order to kind of take advantage of automation with it. So we're kind of relieved now to know that that this device supervisor is going to be the answer to all of these power products that Ubiquiti is putting out. But right there on the little modal, you can see that it's got control not only for the 110 plugins, but also the USB-C plugs there too. So
yeah, that's nice. That's really, that'll be good. Yeah.
And right down here under
I
safe
started
shutdown
with
period.
I started with the strip. I don't know if you remember, it had
I
like
do.
6 plugins, AC plugins, and I think it has 4 USB-Cs, but the USB-Cs didn't work, and then I had an update and they still didn't work, and then they just stopped selling it. I was like, okay. But it was cool because you could plug your modem into that port, and then it would recycle it. So you had the capability to do that. But yeah,
I think a lot of people may not realize, but these power products that we're getting today, Ubiquiti started with those many years ago on the UISP line. So yeah, the strip that you're talking about, there was also like a little plug that like one little single plug, and that strip you're talking about, that was kind of their first attempt at bringing those products out of the UISP line, and it didn't go so well. But these
it went okay. I mean, it did like 80%. It just, yeah, the USBs didn't ever work on it. But anyhow, I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked being able to see. It gave me a view into those AC ports, and you could turn them on and off. So
yeah, and it's the reliability that they have in this line of power products is just a class up. So I'm very happy to see them doing this. I don't know if you can see right here on the screen, it kind of automatically recognized that that there was the two most important devices in that rack, the UNVR and the DMP. So it just on the side modal here, it just suggests, do you want to pair that device with this, and you're able to do that. And also the little checkbox that says auto recovery power cycle will not only turn something off, but you can turn it back on as well. So that's another part of what they're rolling out.
And this is, so did we have high availability? Did we have that listed in our system options before, or is that just with 10.2?
I don't remember. 10.2 added some stuff in here. We were starting to see the shadow and the MC lag. The stacking right there is new for me. And but yeah, so Device Supervisor was there, but it wasn't in the graphical interface like it is now. So I kind of, it's nice to see where they're going with this, because I think they're going to continue to build it out with more of those digital twin types of services that learn from each other and benefit each other. And then also by the way, these things are, I don't know if you can see that URL up there, but it's not the standard site manager. These things are in Fabric. So when you do have a multi-site
situation, you're not just limited to controlling things and having things going on one site. If you do have replication or co-location going on between two different sites and one site goes down, you will be able to trigger things in that other site to respond to it as well.
Wow. So Fabric, so that's pretty exciting. I know we got to see a little bit of it at the UWC, but yeah, it's starting to become a reality. So good.
Yeah, we're kind of like right at the precipice where we're seeing the big picture that they have been planning for the last couple of years.
Yeah, good. All right. Is there anything else in this update that we want to look at today?
Look at so much. Do you have any curiosities about anything else?
Well, in their video, they mentioned some Wi-Fi update capabilities. Have you looked at that at all?
So it's basically an WPA3, but with an open network, and one of the reasons why we like WPA3 is because each client on the network gets their own encryption key, so it makes it harder for malicious actors and bad guys to get the key that everyone is sharing on the network. I'm still quite a fan of 802.1x, where each person gets their own key. I don't know if I'm quite ready to go to doing it on an open network just yet.
Really?
Why not?
Why not? Do you want me to talk about AirSnitch?
Yeah, at a high level.
Well, okay.
So what's going on with AirSnitch? We need to mention it.
So it is a network vulnerability that every network has. It's a 0-day threat that has come out, and it's kind of a baddie because it's not just one vulnerability. There's kind of four main levers that it relies on, and they're not easily fixed. I guess, like, just to put it very simply, it kind of makes me think about like a flood of water, like your house getting flooded. If you could do your best to seal the house up before a hurricane or something like that, but when that water comes, it is coming in the front door, it's coming in the side windows, it's coming in the windows. It's not just limited to one thing, and there's nothing you can do about it when it gets there, right? If you haven't made the correct preparations, you're getting flooded, and it's kind of, AirSnitch is kind of like that. You've got to do the work, several different layers of work to thwart the four main levers that AirSnitch uses to wreak its little malicious havoc.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we won't go too far into AirSnitch because I think it deserves its own podcast. But it's on everybody's mind since it came out. What was that? 2 weeks ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone is vulnerable. It's a completely manufacturer or really technology agnostic vulnerability, and it affects everybody. Everyone needs to be aware of it. And for our compliant our customers that have to maintain compliance, I mean, they're just having to deny guests getting on their network until folks get their until manufacturers get the firmware out and people have a chance to respond to it, because this is definitely widespread firmware fixes. You've probably noticed that Ubiquiti has put out a release every day this week, and they are addressing some issues with AirSnitch, but there's still a ways to go.
Yeah, it's a deeply troubling and deeply embedded issue for all the vendors. It's not just Ubiquiti. So, and from what I understand, you said that there are 4 different vulnerabilities that it can take advantage of, and
Yes.
some vendor equipment has one of the vulnerabilities, and another vendor might have a different part of that air snitch that it's susceptible to, and some
Right.
have them covered. But yeah, it's all of our wireless networking equipment is affected somehow by air snitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a man in the middle. It's 2 different kinds of spoofing, and key impersonation on 2 different levels. I mean, it's really it's really impressive in its design, because these things that it defeats are things that have kept everyone safe for many years. But there's always things like this that come out in technology that make us truly innovate, and we'll get it patched. But it's
Yeah.
just it's gonna take effort, and people are gonna have to take it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. All right. Well, I think we've covered it. I think I know that was a bit of a challenge to run a live site on a new release. So bravo to you, even though it took you a little bit to get to it. And I think it was a good idea to have it videotaped. So
Yeah,
videotape. So
we'll have to figure out a different way to do that in the future. But yeah, it's been fun. I mean, obviously you could tell us being kind of a goofball on the videos. I do enjoy doing this stuff. So thanks for having me.
all right, you're welcome. Thanks everybody. That's it for today. Bye.
All right. Bye.